This workshop is designed to educate you about how you can take control of your career development if an academic career has been your plan A. If you're planning to go in the academic market this year, you need to understand that higher education is being transformed as never before, and that there are widespread hiring freezes in the tenure-track job market. This situation is much more dire than what happened to the academic job market during the 2008 economic crisis, and it's expected to continue for the foreseeable future. We recommend that all doctoral students and postdocs who are considering an academic career also actively prepare for a viable Plan B career in private industry, government, the nonprofit sector, or entrepreneurial ventures. For today's session, I'll first briefly cover some of the basic career resources available for PhDs and the support we can offer you. I'll then present you with what you can do to take control and enhance your career development during this pandemic. I'll move on to discuss some of the job market realities for you to consider as you move forward and formulate your strategy. I want to acknowledge the reality of this situation so that you can begin to consider the options that best fit your particular situation. And I'll conclude with some suggestions for next steps. The first thing I want everyone to know is that there's a network of career services offices. Depending on which college or school your doctoral program or your postdoc program is located, you would access the services in one or more of these 4 career centers. If you are in engineering, the School of Business, or the School of Public Policy, we suggest you begin by getting to know the services and staff in the career centers embedded in your school or college. Visit their websites to learn more about them and their career portals, Careers for Engineers, Hire Smith, and UMD Policy Jobs. If you are a student or postdoc in any other college or school, you have access to the career services, the University Career Center, and the President's Promise. That website is careers.umd.edu. Here you have access to Careers for Terps called C4T account using the link in the upper left-hand corner of the homepage. Through your primary career portal in C4T, you can register for events, see job postings, and other online resources such as Interview Stream, where you can practice for upcoming interview that you may have. All students are able to schedule an individual career advising appointment with Dr. Susan Martin, the Program Director for PhD Career Development, through C4T. Career services are offered for all PhD students and postdocs through the Office of Professional and Career Development in the Graduate School, which is in collaboration with the University Career Center and the President's Promise. More information is located on the grad school's website at go.umd.edu/PhD career info. On this website, you can find information and links to all of our upcoming workshops, career tools and resources for you, previous workshop and event recordings, and more. I've also provided Susan's email address along with mine should you like to contact us at any point about the workshop or the career and professional development services that our office offers. Our contact information is also listed on this website. You are here presumably because you're interested in learning more about what to do given the hiring freezes in higher education and the freeze on tenure-track positions. There are really 3 options. Some of you may choose option 1, inaction. You may do this because you feel very overwhelmed and decide to do nothing. Or you may decide to ride this out because you're not convinced that these hiring freezes will continue for very long. However, if you're serious about faculty careers, you will need to do much more than publish. You will need to actively develop your skills and competitiveness. You should also plan to go out on the market more than once, so you will need to be prepared for the amount of time that it will take to land a faculty job and all the rejection that may be part of the process. The second option is to continue preparing for a faculty career and at least one career outside of academia. If you choose this path, you will need to fully explore other viable career options in private industry, government, nonprofit organizations, or entrepreneurship. Preparing for 2 career options can take more time, so we advise that you reevaluate annually to determine whether or not to abandon or continue your plans for a faculty career. The final option is to do your research about careers that fit you and make the decision to completely pivot now. Do not waste time on postdocs either. Industry careers do not necessarily value them, and depending on the career you pivot to, doing a postdoc or 2 can mean the loss of valuable time and earning potential. I want to acknowledge here that letting go of a dream to be a faculty member is difficult and emotional. So regardless of which option you choose or when you when you choose to make these decisions, Career Services staff members are here to assist and support you. Remember, the career planning process is an interactive one. It is very common for career plans to change and evolve while in your doctoral program. If you are still committed to preparing for an academic career, there are things that you must do now. This is the time to build out what we in the office call the Career Toolkit. Beyond your time at Maryland, whether you're a postdoc or a doctoral student, you're going to need to continue to manage your career. So it is very important that you understand what you have to offer and you understand how to manage the career development process for the rest of your career. So taking time now to build and practice career development skills will pay off in the long run, because these are the skills that will be used over and over again throughout your career. The next thing that's going to work is taking the time to actively build personal and professional relationships. These matter all throughout your career. You may be uncomfortable with the notion of networking, but this is a great time to learn what networking really is and to begin building a network of peers, faculty, and professionals. Relationship building continues even though many career and professional development events are being held online. And believe it or not, doing networking online can be a bit more manageable. The third thing that's going to work is educating yourself about industries and organizations that could use the type of skills that you have and that are hiring. You may not have considered or researched opportunities outside of academia in any depth, but now is the time to do this. For some of you, careers outside of academia may be more viable as your plan A, and a tenure track position may become your plan B. The next suggestion is to have flexibility. It applied in the past, but it applies even more so now. So while you'll have your ideal job in mind, it is really important to think strategically about how an opportunity will get you to your next step. And you'll hear me say this again and again today. Whatever position you take next, whether it be a postdoc or a short-term position, it's just another move to get you to where you're going. It's not what you have to do for life. So my recommendation is to be flexible. The next thing that's going to keep you moving forward with your career planning is putting time in your calendar. If you don't make time for something, it is highly unlikely that you're going to focus on it. Adding time to your calendar, for your career and job search time, is going to be important. And finally, how you bounce back and think about the situation, whether or not you have a positive mindset, is going to make a big difference in terms of how you have resilience in the long run. This is probably going to be a marathon, and it's important to take care of yourself. So, what was the reality of the job market before COVID? In brief, according to all these data, and you can take a look at these in more detail after the presentation if you'd like, the number of doctorates awarded each year have continued to go up. The number of tenure track positions continues to decline for a variety of reasons, and the mix of the types of positions have continued to change, meaning part-time positions are on the rise as indicated by the large dark blue bars. In higher ed, the number of tenure track jobs was continuing to decrease even before COVID. What that meant was, if you had been on the market in the past, there was already a lot of competition for these positions. So it was really important that you were familiar with and practiced the best teaching techniques and were aware of student assessment and diversity. You had to present yourself to a type of college and university in a way that displayed you are a really good fit. In this new reality since the pandemic hit, higher education is facing budget cuts and hiring freezes, which are going to be a way of life for the foreseeable future. And how long, we don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding how to resume face-to-face instruction in student life, so all universities have had to make this tremendous switch to online for the safety of students, faculty, and staff. Some students may decide not to return to campus and instead attend a local community college for a third of the cost. There are also some families where perhaps more than one wage earner is out of work. As people are laid off and trying to enter into the job market, there will be this whole cascade of individuals where transferable skills and experience entering other industries. In addition, for those going out on the academic job market, there will also be this competition from multiple cohorts. So it's not just going to be newly graduated PhDs competing against each other for these open positions, but also seasoned faculty have been displaced. Those in postdoc positions will not be moving out of those either. So take a deep breath. This is not something that we can control. The only thing that we can control is our response and what we do day to day. So we can continue to move forward and not get totally stuck. I know that this was a bit of a downer, but there are some things that we can do about the job market to move forward with your career and professional development. But before I do anything else and talk about anything else about the job market, I want to first acknowledge that everyone has been impacted by this pandemic, but some more than others. You all have different financial situations. Some of you have different work authorizations. So I'd encourage you at this moment to think about what are all of your possibilities and explore them. And there may even been some possibilities that were not appealing in the past, or maybe even not at this moment. But again, you're just thinking about what is your next move, not your entire career. Ultimately, you are the expert of your career planning process. You, and not your advisor, have the responsibility to determine which path is best for you based on your unique strengths, identity, and life situation. Some of you may have to leave Maryland after graduation and take on a job just to earn income. You have to pay rent depending on what your situation is, and employers are going to recognize that people had to do what they had to do. So there's absolutely no shame in taking on a job while continuing your search for a professional position. And the last point that I want to make is taking care of your physical and mental strength is very important during this time. So this is where I'm coming from with delivering this information. You'll notice that the arrow is going forward. We know that this is going to be challenging, but this office's job is going to continue to support you and continue to be hopeful even when you don't know what your next move is. Our approach is going to be optimistic realism, and I'm going to say up front that some of you could be doing absolutely everything right and what you expected, and a tenure track position or your ideal job may not materialize. But we are here to support you through that and help you identify your best doable options at this moment. So if you are serious about pursuing an academic career in the long run, you need to make yourself as competitive as possible. You want to make sure that you have clarity about who you are and that you understand what's happening in your discipline and at different types of institutions. You need to make yourself visible in your discipline. This is the time to seek out faculty mentorship. You would seek out different faculty mentors depending on what your goals are. Some of our faculty are going to be great mentors around research, and some are going to be great mentors around teaching. However, it's probably not realistic to expect your primary advisor to be all things. So expanding the faculty mentors that you have in your life would be very valuable, especially if you're planning to pursue postdoc opportunities. And if you haven't really taken the time to learn about the academic job search cycle, which typically starts in late summer, you definitely should start reading some of the resources that I'm about to share with you. Some resources for faculty job searches are the following. The TLTC. They can help you prepare academic job application materials such as teaching and research statements. The TLTC also offers valuable professional development opportunities to build skills related to teaching, classroom management, and assessment. CERTL is an online collaboration of about 40 universities, and if you don't know about that, I highly recommend checking it out. And lastly, Maryland has purchased a subscription to National Center for Faculty Diversity and Development. They do challenges and they do writing challenges, and they give lots of advice about mentoring and relationship building. I recommend researching these sources later if you're interested in faculty careers to help you become more competitive. I mentioned very briefly about job postings. You can set up a search agent to get open positions pushed to you every day they're posted. So I recommend starting to watch them now and figure out where the postings are happening. And each discipline will have places where they post their jobs. So if you are an interdisciplinary position, you may be looking at multiple sites. Your department may also post jobs if they get words of any university hiring. Reading job postings familiarizes you with the requirements and highly sought after skills, as well as differences in types of faculty roles and institutions. There are documents that you will need to perfect, and you will want to have these prepared ahead of time. And your faculty mentors and advisors and the TLTC can help you with these, but you must start early. And there are typical documents and online places that you will need to tailor to showcase your skills, experiences, and professional image. My advice is to continue updating them regularly so that you're not overwhelmed when you are on the market. So there are 3 free online tools that can help you identify other viable career options that fit you. All include assessment questionnaires. Imagine PhD was developed for humanities and social sciences majors, but it is totally acceptable for STEM majors to use too. We suggest that you use an email other than your UMD email, or choose an email that won't one day expire, because your Imagine PhD account is yours to keep for as long as you want to keep using it, even after graduation. My IDP is another tool, but for doctoral students in the sciences. And there's Chem IDP, which is for those in chemistry, as the name suggests. All 3 of these tools are used to identify or confirm career paths that are aligned with your interests and skills, but they're not going to tell you what to do. The process of answering these skills assessments and interests is going to help you to begin to identify and explore additional viable career paths. Once you take these assessments, I recommend scheduling a career advising appointment so that you can talk about what came up in these assessments. The goal of these assessments is to think about different kinds of work, or maybe it will confirm career paths that you have already been considering. So what are some next steps? If you haven't looked through our website yet, you may want to begin there and see what are some resources that are available for you. Look into the TLTC and some of the resources that I mentioned. You may also want to begin taking some of the assessments. They are completely free to you. And if you haven't updated your materials or drafted materials such as the resume, CV, cover letter, or LinkedIn profile, that might be a next step for you. Regardless of what you do, I recommend dedicating some time in your schedule for career development, especially if you're serious about an academic career or if you're going out on the academic market this year. And schedule an appointment with Dr. Susan Martin through C4T to talk about your career plan. Don't worry about having a perfect answer before interacting with staff in the career centers. We are here to help you figure out what it is you want to do and support you as you develop your individualized career development plan. Again, this is our contact information and our website link, along with our Twitter handle. And if you'd like to talk about your assessment results, your application materials, or the application process, you can make an appointment with Susan in C4T. If you're part of a graduate student organization and would like to bring this information to your members, please reach out to me. And finally, stay informed about upcoming career and professional development opportunities by reading the Grad School Pathways and PhD Career Update newsletters that are sent to all doctoral students and postdocs. And be sure to follow the Grad School and your Career Center on social media. Thank you.